My name is Daniel, and I have carried this story inside me for so many years. A story so strange that sometimes I wonder if it even happened the way I remember it. But then, each time I look at the one note I still keep hidden in the back of my drawer, I know it was real because those words still haunt me. It started in my final year of secondary school in Cape Town. At that time, I was one of the brightest students in my class, always topping exams, always praised by teachers. Everyone thought my future was clear and secure, but life has a way of turning even the brightest paths into darkness. That year, I lost everything. My father had been battling debts, gambling, and shady deals that we never fully understood. One night, he didn't come home. The next morning, we were told he had died in a bar fight. My mother collapsed when she heard the news. Within 3 months, she followed him to the grave. Stress, heartbreak, maybe both. I was left alone, without parents, without siblings, and without money. The little property we had was taken by relatives who claimed they would look after me. But they pushed me aside, left me with nothing. No food, no home, no inheritance. Just loneliness and the weight of my books. I wanted to give up. I remember sitting in the dusty classroom, hearing my classmates talk about university applications, while I knew deep down I would never even finish the school year. Because when your fees are unpaid, your name goes up on the notice board, and everyone whispers. The day mine appeared there, my heart broke. That evening, I walked back home. Not really home, just the broken walls of an abandoned construction site where I had been squatting. And even there, I wasn't alone. An elderly woman had lived in that place long before me. She was a displaced immigrant, robbed of her papers, her house, and her dignity. Despite my suffering, I found myself caring for her, sharing the little food I managed from menial jobs, covering her with my thin blanket when nights were too cold. She became my only companion in that hollowed-out shell of a building. I thought my story would end there. A boy too poor to continue, forced to drop out, lost to the world. But the next morning, everything changed. I was called into the bursar's office. My heart pounded, because I thought they were about to expel me officially. Instead, the bursar handed me a receipt. "Daniel," he said slowly, "your fees have been paid, not just this term, but the entire school year." I stared, stunned. He leaned closer, as if to reassure me. "And there's advance payment for the next 2 years as well." My lips moved, but no words came out. "By who?" I finally whispered. He shrugged. "Anonymous." Just that one word. Anonymous. At first, I was filled with gratitude. Maybe a church group, maybe a kind stranger who had heard about my story, maybe one of the teachers. But when I asked around, everyone shook their heads. Nobody knew anything. Still, the payments continued. Every term before the deadline, like clockwork, always cash, always through the same bursar's office, always under anonymous. And then the strange things began. When I returned to the abandoned building at night, sometimes I noticed my small bag of belongings had been moved. My notebooks shifted. My shoes turned the other way. Nothing stolen, just touched. Other nights, when I walked home from school, I felt it, eyes on me, footsteps behind me. But when I turned, nothing. Just empty streets. I told myself it was stress, imagination. But deep down, I knew someone was watching. One evening, as a new term approached, I made a decision. I would find out who this anonymous was. So I hid near the bursar's office. Hours passed, and then he came. A tall figure in a dark coat, hat pulled low, face hidden in shadow. He walked slowly, like he had all the time in the world, carrying a brown envelope. He went in, stayed only a minute, and came out again. I froze. My heart raced. I followed, through the school gate, down the street, across the quiet road. He never hurried. He never looked back. But somehow, I felt he knew I was there. His steps were measured, almost deliberate. And then, just like that, he vanished. No alley, no door, no car, everything gone. That night, I lay awake, staring at the cracked ceiling of my shelter. Who was he? Why me? And most importantly, what did he want in return? Because nobody gives without expecting something back. It's crazy how life places us in the middle of mysteries that feel bigger than us. And sometimes it's only by sharing them that we connect with people who have felt the same chills, the same silence, the same invisible presence. If you've ever had a moment in your life where you felt something was helping you, guiding you, or even watching you, then you'll understand why I tell this story. And maybe that's why right now you should stay close to stories like this one, because you'll never know when the next twist will come. The years rolled on, and the payments never stopped. Through secondary school, through university, even when I was admitted into law school, the same thing happened. Each semester, my fees were cleared, and still, no name. Just anonymous. People talked. Some said I had a secret sponsor. Some said I was being kept by a rich older woman. Some whispered darker things, that I had made a pact with something unholy. But the truth, I didn't know either. Then came the night everything changed. It was after my final law exam. I returned to my small hostel room, relieved, exhausted, ready to collapse. But when I opened the door, I froze. There, on my bed, was a single folded paper. My hands trembled as I picked it up. There was no envelope, no handwriting on the outside, just plain white paper. Inside it was 3 words: "Now you owe me." The note slipped from my fingers. My chest tightened. My legs felt weak. For years, I had waited for this moment, the moment when the giver would demand repayment. But what did I owe? Who was he? I searched the room, checked the windows, the corners. Nothing. But I knew someone had been there. Since that day, I have never seen him again. Not once. But I still feel him. Sometimes when I walk alone at night, the brush of eyes on my back, the faint echo of footsteps. And each time I see that note, hidden in my drawer, those 3 words whisper to me again: "Now you owe me." And the truth is, I still don't know when or how the debt will be collected. If you've listened this far, then maybe you've felt the same cold shiver I did. And if that's true, then don't let this be the last story you hear from me. Subscribe for more.